So can you see this chapter 3, radiation integrals and auxiliary potential functions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the antenna, our main task is to estimate the electric field. Estimate the electric field or magnetic field at some point in the neighborhood of the antenna, maybe far off point or near point, whatever it is. At some point in the region of that in the region of that near the antenna, we estimate the fields, electric fields, magnetic fields. From electric fields, we can
So it's breaking again. So the voice, it's breaking again.
no solution. Tanvir sir checked it actually. So, is it clear now? Can I bit shout and so that it will be clear to you? Can I raise my volume?
Yes, sir, I don't. I think the mic is not proper.
No, it is set properly, and here Tanvir sir has checked just now. That is what we can hear. The network quality seems to be not okay. Network problem is there, I believe. So that's why you are not able to hear the audio properly. Can we manage with this?
So
No,
we
sir,
won't be able to
we can't
understand
hear you at all.
anything. No, sir.
It's hard to keep up, so we are not able to hear you clearly.
You can't hear her?
Yes, sir, it keeps breaking in the middle, so it'll be hard to hear to you if you are going to continue, sir.
So then, should I not continue, or if I continue to be no use, is it? If I continue, you can't. You'll find it difficult to understand, right?
Yes, sir, it's very hard to follow what you're saying.
Okay, 1 second. Hello? Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will continue then. So you can see this chapter 3, radiation integrals and auxiliary potential functions. So our main task in antennas is to estimate the electric field and magnetic field in the region around the antenna. In the region around the antenna, we have to find out what is the electric field strength and magnetic field strength. So after finding the electric field strength and magnetic field strength, we define what is radiation intensity, power density, and after that we can find out what is the power radiated power. All those things we can find out. Okay. So to find the electric field, we have to see what is the electric field dependent on. So to estimate the electric field, we have to see what electric field is dependent on. What is electric field dependent on? So what is electric field dependent on?
Distance.
Distance is one thing. it is mainly dependent on the sources which generate the electric field. Source, the current flowing through the antenna. I was telling you that current flowing through the antenna will decide. That is the source actually. It generates the electric field. So electric fields are dependent on the sources. Okay. So one second. Okay. So here in this chapter, the different things are given here. You can see introduction, the vector potential A, vector potential F, electric fields for electric. We'll have to, I will not discuss that now. I straight away go to the first topic.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
There is no change, sir. Still not clear.
still not clear.
Yeah, it's still not clear.
So then only option is to cancel the class.
Sorry, sir, what?
The only option is to cancel the class if you are not able to hear. I have tried online, whatever is possible. Or try some other time.
Sir, don't cancel the class. Sir, can you try
Yeah.
connecting your mobile hotspot with the laptop and then try again? If it's the network problem.
Uh, that will take some time. Can I get back to you in 10, 15 minutes?
Yes, sir. We'll wait.
I'll leave the network now.
Sir, or try using your mobile's microphone, or try joining the meeting from your phone.
I'll see. I'll get back to you in 15 minutes. Okay. So what is? Okay, I'll leave the network. I'll leave the meeting now, and I'll get back to you. We'll see if it improves. Otherwise, I'll cancel the class. Okay. So you're not able to hear me now also, no? Now also you're not able to hear me properly.
No, sir. It's not proper.
Okay. So I'll leave the meeting now, and then I'll get back to you in 10, 15 minutes. Otherwise, I will just cancel the class. I will inform the students. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Now am I audible? Able to
Yes,
hear me?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll try. Okay, good. Thank you. Now I am not able to see the PPT. Once again, I have to exit once again. I leave the meeting and then again rejoin. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All of you can see the PPT now. Chapter. Can you
Yes,
see
sir.
Yes, sir.
my voice quality is okay? Audible?
Yes, sir. It's
Yes, sir, we
much
can hear
better.
you properly now.
Okay. See, our task in antenna is to find the electric field and magnetic field at a point around the antenna, maybe near point or far away point. Okay. So we have been seeing the writing the expressions for electric field and plotting the radiation pattern and all those things. Now the question is, how do we estimate the electric field? Electric field is dependent on the source. Okay. So source is the current flowing through the antenna. Now we'll see how to write an equation to find the electric field from the source. Okay. Given the source, how can we find the electric field? Source, you already studied in first chapter, the current distribution in the antenna. Okay. So at every point on the antenna, current will be different. Okay. So from the source, how can we find the fields? Okay, we'll see that. And for that, I'll come to see okay. Now the sources. Here is he has given the sources J and M. J is the electric current. M is the magnetic current. You are not introduced to magnetic current, I think. So you basically know J. J is the current per meter square. J is current per meter square, current density. Usually J can be current per meter also. So there are different types of current. One is the source volume. If there is a volume distribution, you will have current per meter square. If there is a surface distribution, you will have current per meter. And if it is a normal wire, then you will have just current in amperes. So J is a general representation for current density basically. Okay. So and M is the magnetic current. Now how do we get this M? Okay. See, M is actually only from theoretical point of view. It is called the magnetic current. It has no practical. It is not practically true. Now, how did we get this M into picture? If you study the Maxwell's equation, I'll just write here. See, what does Maxwell's curl of H? Curl of H. Curl of H. I don't know. It's working. I don't think it's working. So, what you have to do? What is the name of your this hotspot? Redmi. Sorry, I did not remember. Hotspot is not on. Yeah. It was there only. Here it is. Here it is there. Shall I connect? Okay, can you hear properly now? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
See, I was explaining about sources.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, I was explaining about sources. Current, one is J and M. Now you know the source of J. You don't know. You are not introduced to M. Okay, I'll just introduce to M. Okay, curl of H is given by, that is the Maxwell's equation. All of you know, no? Curl of H. What is curl of H? Is equal to, 1 second. Curl of H is equal to J plus J plus del D by del T. You have studied in EMW. Okay, del D by del T. Now, you have written J as sigma E. Do you remember J as sigma E?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And del D by del T as epsilon into del E by del T. Epsilon del E by del T. Okay, you have come across this. So you call this as conduction current and current density, and this as displacement current density. Okay, have you? I hope you have studied this. You know this already. Last year EMW you have studied this before. I think before you went to on this thing, you left the campus. You had studied this in the class itself, in the regular class. J is curl of H is equal to. How did we get this from Ampere's law? Do you remember? Curl of H is equal to J. Do you remember curl of H is equal to J? You have studied.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That
sir.
was from Ampere's law. This is it is in point form. Ampere's law in point form. Because why? This differential can be applied to a point. So it is called point form. It's a differential form of Ampere's law. Curl of H is equal to J. That is for static case. That means steady magnetic field. When the field is varying in time, you have one displacement current density also. This is a differential of time. So for steady fields, curl of H is equal to J. That's what you have studied. But then later on, you were explained that when the fields are varying, there is a there is another current. This is like current flowing through a capacitor. This is like current flowing through a resistor. Sigma E. Okay. So current has two components. This is the conduction current density, and this is the displacement current density. Okay. This is current flow. This is the propagation. This is field in any media. Now, if there are sources, there is a source itself. Then you have just J, another J. That is J source. J source. So you have not come across this. This is now. When do we use this? When there is a source. That means there is a source of there is a current source. This is the current source. This is the conduction current. This is the displacement current. Okay. So in general, we write curl of H is equal to J. J comprises of JC plus J this source current. Okay. Similar, we have a similar equation in terms of E. Curl of E. Curl of E. Curl of E. What is curl of E equal to? Minus mu into curl of H. Sorry, not curl of H. Minus mu into del H by del T. Do you remember this equation?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From where did you get this equation? from Faraday's law? Do you remember? So from Faraday's law, we got this equation. Okay. Now, if you the engineers were compared these two equations, they appear to be similar. So they introduced 1 minus m into this to make these equations to look like alike. So this has j plus this j plus this quantity. This has minus m and minus. So this is actually called magnetic current. This is called magnetic current. It is not practically true, but for theoretical purposes, we take this as for theoretical purpose only we take the into consideration magnetic current. It is actually not true. Okay, it is not practical. So we have only electric current, but because they compared these two equations and then introduced this minus m. So this is like you have the Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law, like the similar to that. Here, this is the current equation. This is like volt. What is the dimension of m? Can you tell me what is the dimension of m? What is the dimension of m? Here it is. What is the dimension of JS here? Source current.
Ampere per meter square.
This is volts per meter square. Because why? Electric field is volts per meter, and this different space derivative will introduce this dimension of distance in the denominator. So volts per meter square. Okay, this m, although it is called magnetic current, the dimension is volts per meter square. Dimension of J is amperes per meter square, or current per meter square. Electric current per meter square. This is magnetic current. Okay, so you have understood how we got m. M is only theoretical. For theoretical purpose, we use this, but it is not true. Just to that is has been introduced based on by just looking making these two equations similar. So they have introduced m, and that is called magnetic current. So you are given these sources. This is only theoretical. Okay, m is only theoretical. It is not practical. Given these sources, there is how to find E and H. There are two paths for this. Two methods to find E and H. E and H are radiated fields. Radiated fields are fields at the far off point. Okay. So radiated fields are faraway fields. The sources are the current flowing through the antenna. So there are two paths. One is this integration path 1. Then another path. The another way is to define some vector potentials, auxiliary functions, A and F. A is called the electric vector potential. F is called the magnetic vector potential. You get A from J. You get A, and from M you get F. The F is called the magnetic vector potential. Now you may not be able to fully understand it right now, but later on it will be clear. So don't bother. So one way is to find E and H is using this path, integration path 1. Other way is to do the integration first, obtain A and F, and then using differentiation get E and H. Although this is a two-step method, this way of finding E and H is very easier compared to this step, this direct integration path. So we will be following this method, path 2. So we have to know what is this A and F. You have been introduced to A. Do you know what is A?
So vector potential.
Yeah, it is called electric vector potential. Now we'll see how we get this A and F. We will see in one of the slides. Okay, have you understood this? What I have explained till now here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next, I'll go to the next slide. So here you see the coordinates axis x, y, z. So our source is a point source. We take this source located at the origin, and x, y, and the faraway point has the coordinates x, y, and z. It has in terms of spherical coordinates, it has r, theta, and phi. You know this. X dash, y dash, z dash is the location of the source. It's a point source. We are taking a point source. Okay. And x, y, z is the faraway point where we find the field, electric field and magnetic field. Very simple, it is easy to understand. Okay. Now, if the source is not at the origin, then this is the point of source. It is not located at the origin, but the observation, but the XYZ, its reference point is the origin. Okay, here this is R, this is capital R, this is R dash. Okay, so how do we get R? R plus this capital R, R dash plus capital R. How do you get R? Or how do you get R dash? R minus capital R. R minus R dash is equal to R minus capital R. Have you got it? X dash, Y dash, Z dash is the location of the source. It's a point source. Now the point source is not in the origin. So you have theta dash, phi dash, and R dash. So this one. So this is the faraway point. Now the faraway point has its reference point is the origin. So this is R. So these two are connected by R, capital R. So here R dash will be R minus R, capital R. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you write vectorially, R dash vector R dash will be vector R minus vector capital R. Okay. So now here, now this is the source, location of the source, the field electric. So we have ER component, E theta component, and E phi component. E phi component, E theta component, and ER component. There can be maximum if you consider the spherical coordinate system, you can have three type components: ER, E theta, and E phi. The source is here. Okay, there is nothing much here in this. Okay. Now, can you make out from this? Can you go to page 1 of what I sent? Notes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
You just open page 1. You open page 1. You see. This is what I was been explained. Path 1 requires only integration. Integration is complex. Path 2 requires both integration and differentiation, but simple. So now let us derive the equations relating J and M, A and F, and again relation between E and H with A and F. Okay. Now how do we start? See, the vector potential A is helpful in solving for electromagnetic fields generated by a given harmonic electric current source J. So first we take only J, M is 0 and only J is present. Only J is non-zero and M is 0. So the vector potential A is helpful in finding the electric fields E and H from J. Okay. Now how do we get A? How do we get A? Okay. So the magnetic, you know that the magnetic flux density is solenoidal. That is what del dot B is equal to 0. Don't you remember? Del dot B is equal to 0, one of the Maxwell's equation, differential equation. Now what is del dot B? Del dot B actually is del dot B is actually closed surface integration of B dot ds by delta V with the limit as delta V tends to 0. That is del dot B actually. So we know B dot ds over a closed surface is 0 because there will be as many flux lines coming a closed surface as the amount of flux entering and leaving the surface closed surface will be equal. So B dot ds will be 0. Because of this, del dot B is 0. Okay. So when del dot B is 0, we know that del dot curl of some vector function is 0. If you take a vector function, find a vector quantity, find curl of A of that and do del dot curl of A, you will find it as 0. You can take any vector function, vector. Okay, find curl of A and then do del dot curl of A, that will be 0. Here we know del dot B is 0. So B has to be curl of A. B has to be curl because this is valid. Because this is valid. Sorry, I missed. Because this is valid mathematically. You try any vector, take any vector A, say Ax, like that, some vector A, and then perform this operation, left hand side, you will find that it will be 0. Now we have, from our understanding, del dot B is equal to 0. So B has to be curl of A. So if these two are equal, if this and this are equal, then B has to be curl of A. Now, what is B? Mu into HA. HA, why do we write suffix A is, you are finding H due to A. That is electric, it is called electric vector potential A. Sorry, magnetic vector potential A. Magnetic vector potential A. So, H is given the suffix A because you are finding H due to A. Okay, so that's why HA, it is called HA. HA is called the magnetic vector. A is called the magnetic vector potential. Magnetic vector potential. Okay. A is the vector potential here, see, A and F. F is due to M and A is due to J. We'll see that. Okay. So how do we got A? How did we get A? Because del dot B is equal to 0 and this is valid. We have B is equal to curl of A. So if you know A, you can find H. How do you find A? How do you find H? Because curl of A is equal to mu HA. So HA can be found out from this curl of A. So if you know A, so this is one of the equation, main equation. HA is equal to 1 by mu curl of A. Now why this A suffix has been given is A due to HA due H due to A. Okay, there can be H due to F. We are not going to discuss that now. There can be H due to both electric current as well as magnetic current. Now since we are taking only electric current, we have only A, that is magnetic vector potential. So that's why H is given the suffix A. H, magnetic field due to magnetic vector potential A. So HA is equal to 1 by mu into curl of A. So this is equation 3. Have you got it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. See, from Maxwell's equation, this one I just wrote now, curl of E is equal to minus del B by del T. Okay, this is what I just discussed. Here, since M is 0, we are not considering magnetic current. Here, yes, curl of EA, actually it is minus M minus del B by del T. But we are considering only electric current, J, only non-zero J and 0 M. So curl of EA is equal to minus del B by del T. Since the source is varying harmonically in time, B is equal to B naught into e raised to the power of j omega t. This is for harmonic fields. When the source currents are varying harmonically, the fields also should vary harmonically. When the currents are varying harmonically, our current J is varying harmonically in time. Okay, that means it is having a component time dependence is e to the power of j omega t. So that's why the fields also will vary harmonically in time. So B is equal to B naught into e raised to the power of j omega t. Okay, so curl of EA is due to A only. EA suffix A has been added to show that it is due to only the magnetic vector potential. Electric vector potential is not there because we are not taking M. M is 0. First, initially we will take only non-zero J and 0 M. So curl of EA is equal to minus J omega HA. Okay. So using 3 and 4, we have curl of EA is equal to minus J omega. Now what is HA? 1 by mu into curl of A. 1 by mu into curl of A. So you get minus J omega curl of A. So you take this, say there is one curl here, one curl of here. On the left hand side there is a curl and on the right hand side there is a curl. You take it to the left hand side. So curl of EA plus J omega A is equal to 0. Have you understood till this much? Hello? Have you understood this till this much? This is page number 2 of notes of my notes. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have another vector, right? If you take a gradient, this is a scale. See, there is a phi here. It's a scalar. Now, if you take gradient of phi, it will be a vector. Now, curl of a gradient is 0. Okay, curl of a gradient. This phi. Phi is a vector. First, sorry, phi is a scalar. Del phi is a vector. It's a gradient. Del phi means gradient of phi. Phi is a scalar. So that is the gradient of phi is a vector. So if curl of a gradient of a vector function, this is 0. So this is also 0. This is also 0. So equating these two, EA plus J omega A will be equal to minus del phi E. Phi E is similar to the voltage B in when you studied in EMW. Phi E is similar to electric. It is called electric potential. Electric scalar potential, phi E. Okay, so EA will be minus del phi E minus J omega. From this equation, you get EA is equal to minus del phi E minus J omega A. Okay. So in the EMW, you have studied E is equal to minus del V. Okay. In electromagnetic waves, you have studied. Do you remember the equation E is equal to minus del V? Do you remember the equation E is equal to minus del V in electromagnetic fields last semester when you studied E is equal to minus del V? Electric is.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now here there is an additional term. Now phi it is like V. Phi is like V. E is equal to minus del V. There is an additional term. That means whatever you studied E is equal to minus del V is not complete. It is for only a static case. For varying condition, time varying situation, there is an additional term in that equation. That you come to know here only. You had studied E is equal to minus del V. Okay. That is only for static case. For if it is a time varying, then the complete expression for E will be like this. Okay. Is it understood? Phi is any scalar quantity. Phi refers to V, where we studied V electric scalar potential, like that. Okay. So have you understood this part? Is it clear?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Okay. Now we have a vector identity. Curl of A is equal to del dot A minus del square A. This is a vector identity. Okay. So we have curl of mu HA is equal to. Now what is curl of A? Curl of A is mu HA. Curl of A is mu HA. Curl of A is equal to B. You know that, no? So B is what? Mu HA. So curl of A is this. This is a vector property of the vector. Del dot A minus del square E. So curl of mu HA is equal to del dot A minus del square E. So is equal. So if you see this, mu into curl of HA is equal to del dot A minus del square E. So curl of HA is equal to J plus, you know that curl of A is equal to J plus J omega epsilon EA. Any question, any doubts? This is the Maxwell's equation which I wrote. Curl of HA is equal to J. J has the source. This J is the source. Curl of HA is equal to J. Conduction current is not there in free space because sigma is 0 in free space. So conduction current density is not there. This is a displacement current. Hello. Have you got this equation? Curl of HA is equal to J is the source plus J omega epsilon EA.
Yes.
Is it clear? Yes. Okay. So now this equation gets converted to, so mu, when you multiply by mu J plus J omega epsilon EA is equal to del dot A minus del square A. Okay. Okay. Now if you substitute EA is equal to minus del phi E minus J omega A from 7. From 7 is this. Okay. If you substitute EA is this is from 7. Okay. So 7 in and this is from 7. 7 in 10. 7 in 10. If you use this equation, 7 is come from here. If you use 7 in 10, you get this equation. Can I go to the next slide? This is you can see in your mobile, page 2 of my notes. See these are vector quantities. I have not added vector sign has not been shown here, but J is a vector, E is a vector, H is a vector. Okay, have you understood this? A is also a vector. Okay, have you understood this? This much, till much, this much? Hello? Please go through, and if you have any questions. Have you understood? Can I go to the next slide? If you are having problem, please let me. If you are having problem, please let me know. Otherwise, I will not come to know at all. It is clear till here, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next slide. So del square A plus omega square mu epsilon into A minus is equal to minus mu J. This expression you get. Put K square is equal to omega square mu epsilon. K square is equal to this. K is nothing but beta. You know that 2 pi by lambda. That K. I have been telling in the last chapter. I told you K is 2 pi by lambda. Put K square is equal to omega square mu A. Okay. Now omega square mu A is equal to 2 pi by lambda whole square or beta square. Okay. If you know it, it's fine. Otherwise, don't bother. So del square A plus K square A is equal to minus mu J plus del dot A and this expression. Now we are going to take one condition that del dot A is equal to minus J omega epsilon phi E. Okay. So if you do that substitution, then you get this as del square A plus K square A is equal to minus mu J. Please go through the slide, and if you have any questions, ask me. Please go through till this step, and if you have any questions, ask me. Del square A plus K square A is equal to minus mu J. This is like wave equation. Wave equation. This is called vector wave equation in terms of A, or vector wave equation in terms of magnetic vector potential. This is called vector wave equation in terms of magnetic vector potential, or vector wave equation in terms of A, because it has A. Now here on the right hand side we have the source. Right hand side we have the source J. On the left hand side we have the magnetic vector potential A. So this equation relates source with A. So if you solve this equation, you will get the expression for A. So the first part was integration. So if you want to solve this, you have to do the integration, because this is a differential equation. Del square A. Del square A is a space derivative. space derivative. Any questions? Any questions? Please go through the page 3 of your notes. Please go through the page 3 of your notes. And if you have any questions, raise it to me.
Is it uploaded on Teams?
It is. I have CS have sent it to you to all the class, their class section class students. You have not received it. You have not gone through that. You belong to which section?
So B section.
I have sent it to all the CRs. I asked them to send it to put it in their group this thing. Post it in the group.
I'll check it, sir.
Or do you want me to? I can't send it now because it won't be possible. Okay, this equation have you followed?
No, sir. Sir, we know that del cross A is equal to del into del dot A minus del square A. Yes.
Okay.
Right. So and
Yes.
then we say that instead of basically we substitute del cross A is equal to B.
Yes.
And then we say using Maxwell equation that is equal to J plus capital J plus small j omega EA. But after that, sir, when on the top of this page, the equation you have written, how did we get that equation?
This equation, you are saying this equation?
Yes, sir.
From the previous page, last whatever you have seen. See, if you see the last equation, the previous page. See this equation, you see? It is from that. See, that is same thing, no? Use have you not got it? Just try it out. Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes time. You try it out. Same. Why all no student in B section got the notes? Other sections have got the notes. Other section students.
Yes.
The C section has the notes.
Why B section they are not received?
B section students have received the notes, sir.
They have received B section students.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then I don't know how I am getting that complaint that one person has not got the notes.
Sir, I got it, sir. The equation.
Got it, no? So
yes, sir.
You have got till this step, equation number 13. So this is called wave equation. Wave equation in terms of A, or wave equation in terms of magnetic vector potential. A is called magnetic vector potential. So this equation relates source with the J is the source current flowing in the antenna. J is the current flowing in a point on the antenna. Okay. So in the source free region, we have del square A plus K square A is equal to 0, because in the source free region there is no source, so J is equal to 0. So you have del square A plus K square A is equal to 0. So we have seen this equation from 7. We have EA is equal to minus del phi E minus J omega A So we have seen this EA is equal to this equation. If you substitute for this thing, EA, say J omega A minus del, what is phi E? Phi E is given by this equation. You see, phi is given by this. So if you, you got an equation. So from J, we can find A using this equation. And from A, we can find EA using this equation. And how do we get HA? HA is very easy. HA is 1 by mu into curl of A. So from J, you can find A. And from A, you can find HA. How do you get find HA? HA is 1 by mu curl of A. And how do you get EA? EA from this equation. Any questions now? So once A is known, we can find HA using 3 and EA using 14. 14 is this equation. 3 has come earlier, equation 3. HA is equal to 1 by mu curl of A. So now, we have made one assumption that this Lorentz condition called del dot A, to simplify this equation, we have made this assumption. This is called Lorentz condition. Now, should we really bother about this Lorentz condition? See, if you take this as the wave equation, you are automatically forcing the Lorentz condition. If you take this as the wave equation, that means this is forced on this condition is forced. So you don't have to care about Lorentz equation. So if you take this as the wave equation, it means that this is satisfied, because by taking this only, we got this equation. By assuming this is equal to this, left hand side is equal to right hand side, we got this wave equation. So while deriving the equation for A, if you use this equation, automatically Lorentz condition is guaranteed, is satisfied, because we got this equation by taking the Lorentz condition. Have you got this point? Did you get this point? Okay. Now in the first slide, first path was in the second path. The first step was integration. Now to solve this, we have to do integration. And the second step was differentiation. Now to solve this, we have to do differentiation. Del operator is all differential operators. Okay. And the other equation, HA is equal to 1 by mu curl of A. That is also differentiation. So this step is integration and this step is differentiation. So can I go to the next slide? Is it clear?
So
if you don't have the notes with you, then it will be difficult, because this in the PPT it is not very clear. Okay, the vector potential F. Now we assume that J is 0 and M is non-zero. The vector potential F for a magnetic current source M. Magnetic current source M. See here, the vector potential F. Now, in the initial case, we took J as non-zero and M is equal to 0. In this case, we are taking J is equal to 0 and M as non-zero. So, a magnetic current is practically unrealizable. However, we use it for our mathematical analysis. A magnetic current is practically unrealizable. Current source is practically unrealizable. However, use it for mathematical analysis. Now, see, in a source-free region, one of the Maxwell's equations says del dot D is equal to rho V. Do you understand? Del dot D is equal to rho V. Maxwell's Gauss divergence equation. Do you remember? Studied in EMW, del dot D is equal to rho V. I hope you that Maxwell's first equation I think you studied in EMW. Del dot D is equal to rho V. But in a source-free region, there is no charge. So del dot D is equal to 0. Similar to how we got del dot D is equal to 0, del dot D is equal to 0. That means D has to be kernel of some vector function. So del of kernel of minus F is equal to 0. So plus or minus, it's just a, doesn't matter. Del dot kernel of minus F is equal to 0. So D is equal to kernel of minus F. D is equal to kernel of minus F, or epsilon into EF is equal to minus kernel of F, or EF is equal to 1 by epsilon kernel of F. Have you got till this equation 2 clearly? Have you understood this? Have you understood till equation 2?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now if you have F, we can find EF. EF is the suffix F is added here to mention that electric field is due to only electric vector potential. F is called the electric vector potential, and A was called magnetic vector potential. F is called electric vector potential. Okay, EF, the suffix is F is only because of J is equal to 0 and M non-zero. Okay, so now we have Maxwell's equation, curl of HF is equal to J plus del DF by del T. This I have written Maxwell's equation earlier. You know this. Now J is 0 here because we have taken J is 0 and M is non-zero. Electric current is 0. Only magnetic current is present. So is equal to minus, since fields are very harmonically in time, del DF by del T is equal to J omega del F is equal to J omega epsilon EF. So curl of HF is equal to plus J omega epsilon bracket 1 by epsilon curl of F is equal to minus J omega del cross omega F. So curl of HF plus J omega F is equal to 0. Have you got till equation 4? Have you got till equation 4?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah,
At the starting, you said A is the electric potential field.
Sorry, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. A is called magnetic vector potential. F is called electric vector potential. What I mentioned was wrong. A is called magnetic vector potential and F is electric vector potential. A is due to J. Huh? Sorry, I made that mistake. Yes. Tell me, is it clear till 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are we are proceeding in the similar lines what we did for the last this thing example. So we have vector identity. So when curl of something is 0, then this is valid. This equation is valid. Minus or plus hardly matters because okay. So here, so you have HF plus J omega F is equal to minus J. So equating these two equations, 5 and 4. Equating 4 and 5, you have HF plus J omega F is equal to minus del phi M. So HF is equal to minus del phi M minus J omega F. So have you understood till phi A? Phi M is called arbitrary magnetic scalar potential, which is a function of position. Phi M is a magnetic scalar potential. Phi E was electric scalar potential. A is magnetic vector potential. F is electric vector potential. Phi M is magnetic scalar potential. So till phi A, have you followed phi A? Just see. If you refer the notes, it will be easier because going through this PPT is difficult. Till phi A, have you understood? Just please go through. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Understood, no? Till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll go to the next slide. So, so similarly, curl of EF. Taking curl of equation, I don't see this one, equation 2. Okay, so curl of EF is equal to minus 1 by epsilon into curl of EF. Curl of F, sorry, not F, EF. So this equation, so Maxwell's equation, you have this curl of EF is equal to minus M minus j omega mu HF. So why minus M has come? Because M is non-zero here. Only J is 0. Only J is 0. M is non-zero. So you get this equation 7. So till 7, have you followed? Till 7, have you followed equation 7? Hello? Have you followed till 7? Equation 7? Please see your notes. I sent it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So 7 is understood. From using 7 in 6. So you get this. And you get this equation 8. Now HF is equal to minus, this is what we had written earlier. HF is equal to minus del phi m minus j omega f from equation phi a. So using phi a in 8, you get this. And using Lorentz condition, if you substitute this, so you get this equation. Please go to study this equation till equation 11. Please go through this, whatever has been given till equation 11. So have you understood? Similar to previous derivation.
Yes.
So M is what here? The magnetic current. So F is electric vector potential. F is called electric vector potential. M is magnetic current. Okay. So this is called wave equation, vector wave equation in terms of electric vector potential. Vector wave equation in terms of electric vector potential, or vector wave equation in terms of F. Why? Because this F is a vector and M is also a vector. M is also a vector, F is a vector. So this equation relates M and F. Solving this equation, so we will get F. So that is step is an integration step. To get F from M, you have to do integration. Solve this equation. This is called vector wave equation in terms of electric vector potential, or vector wave equation in terms of F. M is the magnetic current. Here we are taking electric current as 0. J is 0. Okay. So, and Lorentz gauge condition also very similar. Like what you saw in the last derivation. Okay. But here I think minus sign is there. There minus sign was not there. So then you get HF. So see, HF is given by minus j omega f minus j of del of f, and this equation. So you get this equation. So how did we get this? HF, see from this, HF you get from this equation. HF you get this from this equation, and that has been written here. HF is here. Here, HF is here. And that has been written here. So have we got till equation 12? So is it understood? Equation 12 till equation 12. Please go through. Hello, have you got it? Equation 12.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how do we get EF? You know what is EF? E suffix F. Electric field due to electric vector potential. EF is electric field due to electric vector potential or magnetic current. So how do you find EF? How do you find HF you got? This is the given here. How do you find EF? How do you find EF? Now EF is equal to minus del dot F, curl of F by epsilon. Don't you remember this? Del dot D was 0. Del dot D was 0. So D has to be curl of F minus curl of F. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Easy, it is easy. See, del dot D was 0. So D is equal to minus curl of F. So EF is equal to minus curl of F by epsilon. Simple. Okay. Can I go to the next slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once F is known, EF can be found using 2 and from HF can be found using 12. Okay. Now here also we don't have to worry much about the Lorentz gauge condition because once we take this as the this equation as the vector wave equation, then Lorentz condition will be automatically forced on it because we got this equation by assuming Lorentz condition. If you take this equation to solve for F, then automatically Lorentz condition is taken into account. Lorentz condition, why did we take is it is just to simplify get a simple equation. Otherwise, the equation is going to be very complex. So Gauss selection is to decide what to assign for del dot A. We can make an assignment. This is like choosing the reference point to measure a potential in a circuit. We will use whichever is easy to use. Lorentz condition is one type. This is the Lorentz condition. Okay, it leads to simplified wave equation. So procedure to find resultant electric field E and magnetic fields H. Procedure to find electric field E and magnetic field H due to J and M. J and electric current source and M is magnetic current source. Specify J and M. You have to specify electric and magnetic current density sources. And find A due to J using this equation. This is doing the integration. Find A using this integral equation, which is a solution to the vector wave equation del square A plus K square A is equal to minus mu J. Find F due to M using this equation, this F due to M, which is the solution to the vector wave equation del square F plus K square F is equal to minus epsilon into M. Okay. So this equation we are going to derive in the next subsequent sections. We are going to derive this equation. So, but it is an integral equation. So have you understood till here? Don't worry about how we got this. We are going to derive this equation. This and equation we are going to derive Don't worry about this. So if J is given, you find A using this, and if M is given, you find F using this equation. And they are solutions of this equation, these two wave equations. So if both electric current J and magnetic current M is present, then find EA and HA using J, and find EF and HF due to F. Sorry, find EA and HA due to A is due to J. Okay, and find EF and HF due to F, which is due to M. So total resultant field, electric field, is EA is equal to EA plus EF. When both electric current and magnetic current are present, E is equal to EA plus EF, and H is equal to HA plus HF. And we have this relation. Adding EA and EF, you will get this, and adding HA and HF, you will get this. Have you got this till here? Is it clear? Hello? Hello, is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So don't worry about how we got this equation. We'll see that later, these two equations. But they are integral equations relating A and J and F and M. Okay. Please, this is page number 5 or something. Can you open your notes? This is not very clear here. All of you can see the notes. Can you open this page? Which page number is it? Page 8, okay. Solution of the inhomogeneous vector potential wave equation. Now we are going to see the wave equation, solution of the wave equation. Okay, so this is the coordinate system. So you are considering a source at origin, a point source. We are considering a point source at the origin. Okay, this is the faraway point. So r theta phi coordinates, this is a faraway point. Okay, assuming that the current density is directed, we assume that current is only in the z direction. Current, a point source located at the origin. So current is only in the z direction. Assuming that the current density is directed along z axis, Jz, only Az component of the vector potential would exist. Why? Because see, del square A plus k square A is equal to mu minus mu j. Okay, so if j is only along the z direction, then A also has to be only in the z direction. Because left hand side and right hand side should have the same components, x, y, z components. J has only z component, Jz. So left hand side also should have only z component. So this equation del square A plus k square A becomes del square Az plus k square Az is equal to minus mu jz. Have you understood this? Hello, have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because why? The current is in the z, we have taken current is only in the z direction and it's a point source. Now where this equation is applicable, this is applicable in the point where source is located. That means it is applicable only here. Source is located at this point. It's a point source. Any other outside point, there is no source. At that point, del square Az plus k square Az is equal to 0. At any other point other than the source region, it is del square Az plus k square Az is equal to 0, because at that point there is no source. This is applicable. This equation is applicable to a particular point. Okay, have you got it? Have you got this? Hello. Okay. So this point, this is somewhere outside the source region. So del square Az plus k square Az is equal to 0. Okay. Now, for any point, if this is a point source, you move this on the surface of a sphere, the point, you take different points on the surface of a sphere. Now, different points on the surface of a sphere will see an identical source condition, because this is a point source. This is a point source. So for theta and phi, if you vary theta and phi between its limits, each point will see an identical source situation. On a surface of a sphere, each point will see an identical source situation. Okay, have you got it? Because it's a point source, it will see an identical source, source condition. Identical source condition. Do you understand this? Very important. Hello? If you take all points on the surface of it, so they will see an identical source situation, because this is a point source. Whatever point you take on the surface with r is equal to constant, theta and phi you vary, all points will see an identical source situation. So vector potential A will not depend on theta and phi, it will depend only on r. Why it will dependent on r? Because different r will give different A, because it will different source situation. It will see not the same source situation because the distance varies. So vector for Az is function of only r, not theta and phi. Is it clear? Since the source is point, Az will not be a function of direction theta and phi in spherical coordinate system. So vector potential A is only a function of r. So Az is a function of r. It is not a function of theta and phi. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now del square, you left hand side you explain del square Az of r plus k square Az of r is equal to 0. Del square has this is expansion in spherical coordinate system, del square. In spherical coordinate system it is expanded like this, and differentiation with respect to theta and phi is 0, because it is not a function of theta and phi. Only r component will be there. Just refer to your notes. Have you got it? Have you got it?
Sir.
Okay, shall I? You please go through the derivation. Next time we'll continue. Next class, next Friday. Tomorrow I'm not taking class. I'll take attendance now. So any questions till now? Whatever has been discussed.
No, sir.
Okay. So I'll take attendance now.